This is Unfiltered,
the talk radio show giving you real opinions about real issues for real.
Call us toll free at 877-CHAT-212.
That's 877-242-8212.
Thank you, everybody. You are listening to another episode and viewing another episode of Unfiltered Live with Lil Ern
and Kaine. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
And who is our fabulous guest today?
That guy to your right?
Yes, this gentleman, this youngster to my right. I believe that this gentleman goes by the name Theo Fleury. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I do believe that you are both an Olympian, a legendary hockey player, and I believe that you might have some good stories to tell us. Thank you for joining Unfiltered today, Theo.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
Great. We're glad to have you. And we should say that he's a gold medal winning Olympian.
Gold medal winning Olympian.
Stanley Cup champion.
And maybe
add those in. You gotta make sure that's there.
And maybe most important today, author.
Yes.
You're here. You have a book. Tell me about it.
Well, let's see. My life has been quite interesting, and I have faced a tremendous amount of adversity in my life, and different occasions in my life. And when we first started writing the book, it was, we thought it was going to be a hockey book, and then it turned out to be, a really kind of compelling life story with a lot of inspiration for people. And in Canada, we've had the number one book for the last 4 weeks, and I think what's happened is that people have really connected to my story and seen a lot of similarities, and have seen, I guess, the success I've had away from the game, and they're very attracted to that part of my life, and we've been getting about 500 emails a day with people either lending their support or telling me their own stories of their personal demons, and it's been fantastic.
Now, so you're talking about your book, Playing with Fire, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. I saw the title out there.
I was going to say the book is called Playing with Fire.
Yep.
And you mentioned that it is the number one book, not just nonfiction, not just biography, the number one book in Canada.
Yeah,
that's great.
And I mentioned that because you were born in Canada, right?
Yeah. I was born in a very small town in the middle of Canada. The province is called Manitoba, and very, very cold up there.
Okay.
And but a great place to grow up. As you know, hockey in Canada is like baseball is in the U.S.
Sure.
and people are very passionate about it. Everybody plays the sport. Everybody watches the sport. It's like an obsession that people have, and for me, from the very first time I ever put on a pair of skates, I knew what I wanted to do, and that was be a National Hockey League player. So for a 6-year-old boy to be that focused and that sure of himself, I think also kind of lends to the story and intrigues people how, somebody of my age at 6 years old would be that sure of himself. So
yeah. I'm not a big hockey fan, but I do know about the different teams and the sport itself. But I thought that the players were usually taller than what your height is.
Yeah, I wish I had $1 for every time somebody said I was too small or that I wasn't going to make it. But like I said, the place I grew up in, we had, we were pretty much able to be at the rink all day, every day if we wanted to be. And because of that, I had a lot of raw talent, but what, helped me along the way was that I was able to be on the ice every day and honing those skills and repeating those skills and doing them over and over and over again. So then when it came time to play the game, it was like I was just reacting instead of thinking. So
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you in a situation where when you were learning the skills as a child to become a world-class hockey player, there was actually a moment when the community raised funds for you to be able to go to hockey school so you could progress into the athlete you are. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. We were very poor. Growing up, my dad was he was a heavy equipment operator for the town that we lived in, and I have two brothers, so there was three of us playing hockey. My dad was playing hockey, so and hockey's not the cheapest sport to play, and they raised some funds, and I was able to go to a hockey school in Brandon, Manitoba, which is a couple hours south of where I grew up. And it's funny because the guy's hockey school, he's now a head coach in the NHL with the St. Louis Blues. His name is Andy Murray, and was able to go there for 3 weeks of hockey school, and even refine those skills even more. So it was a great experience.
Now, what did you do in hockey school? How long are you on the ice or at the rink?
Well, I think we were on the ice we were on twice a day for I think about an hour and a half, and then we'd do dry land, we'd do conditioning, so it was a full day of stuff, and it was great. Got to hang out with a bunch of cool kids, and we were all kind of focused on becoming better hockey players, better people as well. We got to stay in the dorms at the university, and it was a pretty cool experience.
So the book is obviously playing with fire. You're a hockey star. We're not a sports show, so people could be wondering, why are we sitting here speaking to a hockey player? And I think it's important to point out that the book, hockey just happens to be one facet of your life, and there's a lot more to this book than just how to become a hockey player. That's kind of the background for a lot of other interesting things that happen. So to jump ahead, you go to school, you end up winning Olympic gold for the Canadian team. You're at the top of your game, multi-million-dollar contracts. Literally, I saw the numbers in the biography information I was looking at. But at the same time, all of this success on the actual hockey rink was also coupled with some behind-the-scenes, I don't necessarily know if I want to term it drama, but there was a whole nother life going on behind the scenes that didn't play itself out on the hockey rinks of the world. Yes. And I was just wondering if you could kind of speak to that. I know there's a lot of that in the book, and that's...
Yeah. Well, at the same hockey school that I was at, there was obviously a lot of scouts that were at the hockey school watching, and there was one particular scout who, really took a liking to me, and the team he was working for, I ended up getting drafted by them, I think a year later, and he convinced my parents that I should move to a bigger center to have better competition, and then I was able to practice with the big team to get ready for the next year.
Theo, how old were you at that point?
I was 15 when I left home, and but what happened was he ended up sexually molesting me for about 2 years after that, and obviously that was a real difficult and confusing time in my life, and because of that, when I wasn't at the rink, I didn't feel very comfortable with myself and very comfortable with who I was, and that led to drugs, alcohol, poor choices.
Right. Now, when the molestation happened, did you internalize this? Did you let anybody know?
No, I didn't tell anybody. You got to understand that this happened 27 years ago. So our sexuality at that point, nobody talked about it. I never got the birds and the bees talk from my parents when I was getting ready to leave home. So basically I was out there kind of, discovering it.
Join us again for more Unfiltered. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on chataboutit.com.
chataboutit.com.